So I feel like Pokemon cards have gone too far. Or are they in the right place? I don't really know the answer. I'm not the king of all this stuff, but I find it very interesting culturally what's happening with TCGs, trading card games, these days. So, not a new set, but there was a set that came out months ago called Prismatic Evolutions, I think. It had a Pokemon named Eevee on the cover, and it was, in my opinion, really bad with the hit rates, but that didn't stop people from making it impossible to get it. I got one ETB Elite Trainer box, one at a local comic book store, miles away from where I live. And because it was a local comic book store and not like Walmart or Target or one of those major retailers, I paid, I think, $10 or $15 over market price value for the box. There was other places that had it in stock, again, not major retailers, but they were charging about $90 to $80. No, sorry, 80 to about $100 per a box, one ETB, when the retail price was about $59 or even in some cases $49. So you could see why a lot of people didn't want to buy from a lot of local card shops or comic book stores. So a couple days ago, basically last weekend, they released a bigger box of this Primaris Evolution. There's already been another set that came out called Journey Together that was hard, but not nearly as difficult as it was to get your hands on Prismatic. Prismatic was a freaking nightmare. You just couldn't get your hands on it. And I just want to make sure I got the name right. It's Prismatic Evolutions. Okay, so Prismatic Evolutions Super Premium Collection. A mouthful, I know. Stay with me. Again, it's called Prismatic Evolution Super Premium Collection. It is a long box. I actually think I have a premium collection for the 151, so that came out like a year ago. But yeah, it comes out a couple months after the ETBs and the regular booster packs and stuff. Gamestop announced that they would have these in stock. Every store had a literal piece of paper, like you got off a printer, uh, um, taped to their front door, saying this is how many of the prismatic evolution boxes we will have for the premium collection we'll have in stock. So people will start lining up the night before or even the evening before. So when you came on Saturday morning to try to get some of this, or Friday morning, Saturday morning to try to get some of this, I think it was a Friday morning to get some of this, it was impossible. You couldn't get in line. By the time you even get in line, the lines already formed at like by 7 a.m. You're out of luck. At my location, my GameStop location, you're out of luck 6:45 p.m. the day before. So if you have employment of any kind, you had no shot at this. And so here's the interesting dilemma when it comes to Pokemon, the crave, right? Is that is it great for physical media in essence because these are physical cards people are fiending after? Yes, and a huge physical media component. Is it great for culturally brick and mortar stores? Sure, because you have a bunch of people lining up to give you money, helps you stay in business, helps you stay culturally relevant to the hobby, right? But here's the issue. Again, if you have any type of employment or any type of responsibilities, you're not getting your hands on Pokemon cards. You're just not. You're not. And it sucks and is very unfair for a lot of people. I want to be very transparent with you. I'm a reseller. I resell on eBay. With that being said, before you get the pitchforks and dox me and all the other stuff, I don't, never will be one of those people who go to any major retailer store, GameStop, Walmart, whatever, Target, whatever, take up the entire inventory and leave people with none. One, I do not have the cash flow to do that, so I literally cannot do that. Two, I just believe in letting people at least get a chance, even if it screws me over with my inventory. And three, I just have morals and ethics, man. So I don't clean places out. With that being said, I'll go have my turn, get what I need. If I come back 2 days later, there's still some packs up or whatever the case may be, which is really rare. Or if I come back that evening or night, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna get some more. I'm gonna keep it a beam with that. Not all the time, but sometimes when the cash flow is good, I'm gonna go give me some. Some of it to open on the channel, some of it is to sell, some of it is to give away. With that being said, again, there are people, it's a kid's game. There are kids who cannot get their hands on these things, at least not for market price. They just can't. It's impossible. Because again, I don't know how local card shops and comic book stores price their. I don't know why they price it the way they do. I really don't. I don't know if it's because they have to pay a higher price. Because I thought because they're a brick and mortar store, they get distributors just like every other brick and mortar store and major retailer. So I thought they could charge regular price for these things, but I guess not. Who knows? I should really talk to some of them because I do know store owners. I should really talk to them and see why they don't sell Pokemon cards, but like I know people who just own stores, and maybe they can tell me why places that do sell Pokemon cards would do something like that. So yes, it's impossible to get stuff for retail price, and I mean, there's people who send their wives out with their babies and strollers to go stand in line and get their cards while their husbands or wives or whoever is sending them is at work trying to pay the bills or pay for those cards. And here's the thing I also mentioned the ETB, which is a smaller box for this prismatic drop, right? Is that ETB was 50 something dollars, give or take, retail price. People were charging $90 to $100 for this thing the same time it dropped. A couple more months later, they're charging me more, maybe like 130, 150. This premium collection that's way bigger with bigger packs, the mat, the dice, the coin, everything you need to play the game. That is about, I think it was like 90 something dollars retail. So yeah, people were charging the price of this bigger box with just more stuff in it. Charge the same price for the ETBs. The market is volatile and crazy. If I say volatile, it's because they just put the price up to what they see one comp, which means one comparison of how people selling this stuff, and then just go with it. And then just go with it. And it's turning crazy, man. It's turning crazy. And I guess I made this video also to say, what is the solution? Because again, I don't just resell trading cards. I resell retro games. I resell old tools. I resell a lot of stuff, so I don't have to depend and clean one thing out. And like if one thing falls, the whole business falls. So that's not really. So I really don't care. But it's insane. It is insane to see what's happening. People are fighting. People are just camping out. It's cool. It reminds me of my youth of Black Friday sales, and it reminds me of midnight releases, all that good stuff. But brother, I mean, it's getting to the like. It has to be a better way to do this, because you release it online only, then bots and other stuff get it. So like, there is no kind of having people say, hey, if you really want, you have to come and get it physically, is a better way to do it. But I think like they need to wait until they have a more inventory to do so. I just don't know. I don't know the solution, man. I really don't. Or maybe you just don't let people know. Maybe you just have to do what every other store does. And it's like sometime wherever we get restock, we're not going to announce it. It's just going to be in our store one day. And whoever happens to come to the store this day gets it. But we'll have a limit of 2 per customer. But we're just not telling. It's like surprise drops. They have to just do surprise drops because there's no other way. Maybe that's the solution. Maybe that's better. I don't know. I really don't know. But I would love to hear from the community, from people, like, what do you think is the best solution? Do you think this is the best solution, where you have a scheduled drop and whoever's willing to stay the longest there wins? Or is it better to just do a surprise drop where it's just one day they're in stock in store and you just happen to walk in that day? There's still a limit of 2 per customer, makes it last longer, makes it so people who just, you know what I mean? Like, it has to be something like that, because otherwise, like, I don't know how to make it fair for people, especially not on weekdays. Because again, anyone who has fucking work can't do that. I don't know. It sucks for kids. Like, they should get a chance. So if they have it on a weekend, a kid will have a chance to be able to do it. They'll have a chance. They'll have a chance. And that's what's interesting. And I don't want to make this a 30 to 40 minute video, so I'll keep this part short. What's interesting about malls, right, is that this is a perfect event to happen in a mall. This is a type of phenomenon that's happening with Pokemon, other TCG. This is something that malls would have thrived on. They would have thrived on because malls were a place. Stay with me for the youngins. Malls were a place where you get everything done in the weekend. You can go there for casting calls for movies and TV shows. Were held at malls. Dance recitals could be held at malls. Ice rings, going to watch a movie, and video game stores, arcades, places where people want to go do local tournaments happen at local libraries and happen at your local comic book stores or card shops, but also happen in malls. That these comic book stores and card shops sometimes were in these malls. EB Games, GameStop, not Toys R Us, EB Toys, stuff like that, right? And some of these drops, these scheduled drops or whatever, would have been perfect for a mall. It would have revitalized a mall. I'm telling you. This is how crazy the Pokemon economy is right now. These drops would have revitalized malls because, especially how malls are now, most of those people have been in there for Pokemon. If you had malls and you could host Pokemon events in malls, it would have been insane. I'm telling you, it would have drastically changed how it would have been. Because it wouldn't have just stopped at Pokemon. Other brands and companies where I saw how that went and when I'd done it for clothes and all kinds of other memorabilia and stuff. I'm telling you. And the fact that Panini or whoever owns Optic football doesn't do events for their fan base for Optic is insane as well. Optic football is a super hot product. And the fact that they still don't embrace it the way Pokemon embraces their card game, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Used to it in the past when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was more relevant, and I'm trying to think, Magic Gathering and stuff like that. I'm surprised more companies don't do more events, because the problem is you do it like GameStops all around the country, sure, but sometimes we do it at a mall and you have like local people in it. It's different. So it would have been very interesting to see if malls were more culturally relevant, to see if this could have brought something back. There are still some malls that have GameStops inside them, so I'm very interested to see if some events can, I'm just toying with ideas. I just think there's interesting ways and better ways to make these drops fair for everybody while also making it fun and engaging. I feel like there's a good balance to be had here, and there's some fun that can be had here that doesn't involve people punching and stealing cards from each other and shit like that. But who knows? I don't really know. But if you have any ideas, please let me know down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let me know if you got your hands on any, I have to say the whole thing, Prismatic Evolution Super Premium Collection boxes, because I got 0, and I do not intend to stay in line the night before because I never have done that, and that would freak me out, to be honest with you, because I do not trust humans. All right, see you on the next one. Peace.